Мене звати Оксана Морис, і я приїхала з Вишнівця, України. It's a very small town. It's a town of 3,000 people. And I lived with one brother and both parents, my mom and dad. My parents worked really hard just to survive because there wasn't that many jobs available. So after World War II, Christians wasn't able to have a churches, and they would gather in home of believers. And usually, if the communists would come, they would find pastors or preachers. They would find, arrest, or take them away. I remember my dad was telling me when he accepted Christ, he was called to a government office and he was told to deny Christ. And when he wouldn't, they beat him until he lost consciousness. Also, my grandpa was in a church and communists came and they took him away, and nobody knows what happened to him. He was never seen after he was taken away. It was not easy to be in a school when you're a Christian, because you do not know what teachers will say to you, who will bring you down, who will call your names. So there was a time where I would be afraid. So my parents wanted to give us a better life to come to United States, and also they wanted to leave because of the persecution that we faced when we were living there. So my dad tried to leave Ukraine a few times, but he wasn't allowed. And finally in 1989, they allowed us to leave Ukraine. We had to go to Austria, Vienna, and then Rome, Italy. We stayed there for 4 months, and we lived in a hotel. We had to wait for our papers to be processed before being allowed to United States. And then we flew to Seattle in 1990. The Renton Assembly of God welcomed us with an open arms, and they supported us tremendously in every step of the way. It was shocking to see all the food in the stores, and my dad, when he arrived at a grocery store, he starts crying. It was just because that's not what we had in Ukraine. The biggest difference over here that you can praise God or worship God with no persecution, and we're just thankful and grateful to be here. You know, with Christ everything is possible, and you can go through no matter what you face in your life. I have been in contact with my cousins in Ukraine, and the town where I grew up near Ternopil, Ukraine, it's pretty peaceful in there, but they are scared and they are praying to God that God sends a peace to the land. Thank you, North County Christ the King, for giving me opportunity to share my testimony. And thank you for helping Ukrainian refugees financially. And please keep Ukraine in your prayers. Slava Bohu!